Welcome back. I'm glad to have you. I hope you enjoyed that. I don't think it would be completely honest if I didn't say that I did get a bit impatient with that book, actually, at times. As much as I liked it on this read through. Yeah, I just felt a bit impatient. I won't dwell on that. Fuck. But, commentators are always very keen to tell you that it was written in 27 days. And, there were times when I thought maybe she could have taken a few more days. But nonetheless, it was definitely good. I said before I'm not going to dwell or rehash the praise that was appropriate for it that we've already talked about in another book, because you can see it yourself. Things like there's great use of detail with like her mother's lopsided shoulders from carrying buckets, or Hickey's beehive, and the kind of how local and particular and kind of intensely atmospheric it is to rural Ireland with the presses and cheesecloths and letting the cows out to walk, and you get cream from scraping it off the top of the milk with your fingers. One of my many bosses and supervisors at work is from that part of Ireland, and I think we are, we now have a deeper and more empathetic, more understanding relationship with her for that. I don't know if that's true, but there were good things about this book, I want to say. Oh, yeah, and the characters, another good thing that we've talked about before. The characters are rendered with great patience and great empathy. Not all of them, but Baba, Mr. Brennan, Mr. Gentleman, Mr. Brady, they're free, they surprise us, they're good. And we know Kate so well. By the end, it's so intimate. And it is always good for us to get to know another person on such intimate terms. And there's homework, by the way, which is to think about, can I say person there, or must I say character instead? Two more things. I won't keep you too long this week, because, I'll talk about that later. Second thing this book does is nuance our understanding of honesty. Kate is much less a victim than Patrick Melrose, much less in danger than Robert Jordan, much less outrageous than Alexander Portnoy. And yet, her honesty, her particular, is equally revealing, equally kind of, powerful, moving, shows us the universal, makes us more human, of course. And so the point is that effect, revelation of the of us, the effect a book has on us, its power is not a function of the extremity of the life described. A mundane life spoken about honestly can be just as moving as any other. The only limit is the courage and skill of the creator, and that's an important thing to kind of come to understand. It may be less obvious with more everyday lives, but it's true. And next week, our last book already, is going to be the kind of ultimate in mundane life, powerful effect. So we're kind of ramping up to that. And the last thing, speaking of, is I hoped that reading a kind of brief and deft book would be a nice palate cleanser. It would kind of relax us, give us a moment to think about how far we've come together, on how far you've gone alone, if you like. And yeah, but give you a breather is the point before next week, because our last book is going to be, I'm sure, I think most of you probably discerned what it is. That no worries if you haven't. Will be long and hard, not too long or too hard, and I will get you through it. I'll make sure you're okay. I'll give you everything you need. but it will, it require a bit more dedication than this one, and so I didn't want to have For Whom the Bell Tolls and then another long book straight after. So nice break, and in that spirit, I won't hang around too long. I'll just say, actually no, I will, because I want to say the cultural pairings this week is the album of the week is No Need to Argue by the Cranberries, and I know I've done some pretty I've chosen pretty well with some of these, but this one is the most like bang on book to album pairing done so far. It's amazing. I don't believe it. I've just realised I forgot to do further reading, but I suppose it's a week of a break, right? So yeah, well, I'll have a look after this, and whatever. Yeah, it's a week of a break. So, I hope you have a nice, healthy, happy, relaxing week, and I'll see you next Thursday. Thanks. May you live forever.